Hello and welcome back. I'm in the same location, but I don't have my tripod. It's in the car, so you're gonna might move around a little bit. A little bit of a different view, same spot. Once again, I have no idea what I'm gonna talk about for this video, so I'm just gonna talk. Feeling good. And to be honest, it feels almost like there's not much to say. Especially when your body feels at ease, feels really well. The mind seems a lot less busy. It seems as though you don't have to search outside yourself as much to find something to make you feel happy or to make you feel good in the moment. When your mind is at ease, when you feel well within yourself, you can let go of the mad search to feel well, because you're, in a sense, already where you're trying to get. And not just in a sense, I mean, your body feels that. And that's all over my being right now. I mean, the sun's shining. One of my favorite things, just the sound of the trees. And there's a tree right over here where you can, when the wind blows, you can hear the trees rubbing together, and it makes this creaking sound. Oh, there it is. When you can drop the mind and your mad search to find happiness through things and external objects in the world, the small things become so much more enjoyable. You can imagine a man who just came home after work, after a long day, and he literally just accomplished everything he ever wanted to. He has nothing else he wants to do in that moment, and he can just relax completely and let his mind be. And that's the state of mind that a person reaches when they can feel well within their body, within themselves. It takes a certain amount of let go. But as I say this, if you're still bound by your mind may start thinking of all the things that it still wants to do, and that feeling of just sitting there and doing nothing might bring up a sense of restlessness in your mind and body, just hearing me say these words and describe that state of being. That's how you know you're still heavily dominated by your mind itself, if you take that personally and you catch yourself following that negativity, that restlessness that arises in you. If you can look at it detached and just allow it to be, not do anything with it for or against, you might notice that just like a cloud in the sky, that restlessness washes over you and then disappears back into the ocean of your consciousness as quickly and as effortlessly as it came into your being. So I guess this video is really about being, how to just be. And the only place that you're going to find peace in the world is in yourself, and that peace will spread into the world through your perceptions. You see, when you feel well within yourself, you don't feel as though you need to do anything in order to make yourself feel well. And that sounds kind of weird for me to say it that way. You're probably thinking to yourself, what is he talking about? But what you may not realize is everything that you're doing in the world, everything you're searching for, when you buy something, when you get a new car, when you get a new house, a new relationship, when you set a goal to get a new job, all these things that you're striving towards in your life are in order for you to feel happy, and you project yourself to a position in the future where you imagine you feeling the state of being I described earlier, when you don't realize that that state of being is available to you right now in this very moment, and the only block to that feeling, that sense of wellness, is the mind itself and all of the plans, ideas, and the things that come into the mind that you follow. You see, when an idea comes in the mind and then you feel a gravity of I need to do this, or a sense of urgency, and the gravity of that sense of urgency, when that comes into your being and it takes you, then that is the culprit of your peace itself. Not to say that it is the cause, but it's a habit of you energizing it. It's a habit of you not recognizing that the only reason you don't feel good right now is because your mind is robbing you from the sense of peace. And in reality, it's not actually taking anything from you. The way I explained it there is kind of misleading. The only thing the mind does is add a filter of discomfort on top of your comfort. And that is the reality of why you don't feel happy right now. It's as though if you were to look at the sky, beautiful blue sky, the green grass, and just the sights around you, but then you add a filter, and let's say that filter is dirty. Let's say it's a color filter that you don't like. Let's say it's a puke green, okay? And it's a dirty filter, so there it is. Now, the sky, you can still see through the filter. The grass and everything is still there, but it looks different because of the filter itself. So you might not enjoy what you see because the filter is blocking, if you will, and adding something to what's already there. And the mind is just like that. There's a state of being that's already and currently always there. And what the mind does is it adds a perspective, and it adds a way of seeing the world. It has this way of making you focus on the filter instead of looking through the filter of the mind. When you live in this way, that you use, or your mind uses you, or you can't stop focusing on the filter of your mind, then you feel unwell, you don't feel good, and you're constantly going to be in a search to look to feel good. You're going to do it through trying to eat better, you're going to do it through trying to exercise, you're going to look into the common ideas that are floating in your mind that you believe, that you see other people getting happiness by, and you're going to try those things. And it's only by trying those things for yourself that eventually you come to the point that nothing you can try, nothing you can do actually gives you the sense of well-being you imagine it's going to bring you to. So when you realize that it's your mind itself, you might start to feel this desperate urge to learn how to drop the mind. And that's impossible. You can't drop the mind, but you can learn to look past it. You can learn to not focus on it. The same way, I use this example often, in the same way that if you're in a restaurant and there's somebody sitting not too far from you and their conversation is loud, do you have the ability to still have your conversation that you're doing with your, or you're having with your friends, and not have that conversation take all of your consciousness? Are you going to not be able to enjoy yourself because you can't stop focusing on them? And the mind is very much that way, and very much when you're not being able to, when you don't feel well within yourself, that's exactly what you're doing, but not in the sense of listening to other people and not being able to tune them out, but you're looking at the world through the filter the mind puts in front of you, and you can't stop looking at it. you're taking it too personally. You forgot how to laugh at yourself. You're taking yourself too seriously in those moments. So in the same way, and it really is the same technique that you would use to tune out a person, okay, they're still there, you're still going to hear them, but they're not absorbing all of your consciousness. You use that same technique to look through the mind, past it. And that's what they say when they mean drop the mind. When you hear mystics talk about this state of no mind, that's what they're referring to be able to see past it, to be able to not have it dominate your consciousness. So the message for this video is to share the truth that to feel well within yourself is much easier than you think. And using the technique I mentioned earlier, it's really that simple. It just might take some practice, and you have to detach yourself from the part of you that cares so much about what they're saying, the part of you that cares so much about